everybody, I'm SJM. Welcome back to Opolis Inc. Off camera, I did finish off this. Let's just not look at any Enderman while I'm doing that. The end stuff here. So to get the question mark, the exposure of the liquid null to any receipt recipe, we needed to get this liquid 4 question mark stuff. This liquid 4 question mark stuff comes from melting this 3 question mark, 5 question mark thing. So the thing to note there is that all of these mystery blocks do have different names, right? So we've got this end mystery, like half end, half mystery stuff. Then these blocks are just 5 question mark things. These blocks are these squirrely, who knows what kind of language things those are. And then there are trees. Incidentally, these little grass type things are the ones that we're looking for. So you do need to take your silk touch pickaxe and break these grass or whatever things these are, and these are what you melt to apply to the receipts. But there are the other mystery things are the tree looking ones. So the leaves have 1, 2, 1, 1, and the logs again are the same as the outlines around the squirrely blocks there with the 5 question marks. So there's a bunch of different kinds there. This is an extensive little biome, so I kind of, could have went through here and grabbed all of them if I really wanted to, but I did a little bit more than I needed to get the quest line finished off. But eventually we went in here, we made this one, then I made the 4 of them to get the trading license. And then I made enough ultimate trading bucks to, I think I made 4 or 5 of them because that's how many I had, depending on like the amount of these blocks that I broke. I think I broke 5 of them and each of them did 2. So I ended up with 10, I think. I forget off of the top of my head exactly what we ended up with, but they're not used for a whole heck of a lot right now, so not mining, trading. I made 8. Right, so the only thing that they're used for now is replicating receipts. So if you take a receipt, you put it in a crusher. 1 receipt will give you 9 of these shredded ones, and then you put the shredded ones back in the combiner with trading bucks, and you'll get these restored ones, which act just like the regular ones. So if you don't want to do a whole bunch of trading, you can get the restored ones this way. You just do need the trading bucks similar to using the mining bucks in the combiner to duplicate your ores. There's also the enrichment chamber, but that just gives you 1-to-1 back for what you got, right? Because you take 1 normal one, shred it, you get 9, and then the enrichment chamber would just take those 9 and put it back into 1. So there's no real point to doing that recipe ever. I was watching Mr. Porkerson's video that came out today, and he proved to me that I'm a great big dummy. So I've been waiting all this time to get some wireless options for Powah, and Powah actually does have wireless options within it. I've never ever used it because I always used Flux networks in the past for my wireless needs because I knew the mod and it was relatively easy. But I think even the big thing with the Powah one is you always want to keep upgrading it, whereas with Flux Networks, you just make it one time and you're done with it, right? And it fills most of your power buffer needs because you can always override the transfer limit, whereas the Powah ones, they definitely have power limits to what you can do with them, right? So if we look in here, the ender cells are what you need for storing the power. You just actually have to, unlike the energy cells with the power, with the ender cells, you have to apply a battery to it. So you have to make one of these batteries. So the size of the storage buffer in there will depend on the size of the battery that you put in. So I just made a blazing one because that was easy enough for me to do. So I've now got a 4 million FE power buffer in here because of the blazing battery that I put in. And I just hooked it up to this network for now because I just got my 36 reactor blocks, so I now need to start upgrading these guys to get, well, I'll definitely get up to blazing right away, but I don't know how much more far forward we'll go, but for right now, we're kind of limited. I've got blazing energizing rods, but, you know, I can only do about 5 or 6 blaze rods at a time in here until this is completely drained of power. And then, you know, these are definitely not good enough to sustain doing these long term, because like each one of these blazing crystals takes 120k. So what I was doing is I was looping, putting them in. I was trading the blazing capacitors for elite power bucks and then making 4 at a time with these. And then I was also using the elite power bucks in the infuser with coal, or infused, like, you know, carbon one way or the other, to keep up on my dielectric paste, because I didn't want to keep crushing the coal to do the gold recipe here. And, you know, you've got to crush down a whole bunch of coal just to get, you know, 2 out of every 1, plus, you know, 1 piece of gold will give you 8 if you use the enriched. So that's it was a little bit of a loop that I was doing, and then, you know, all that amount of time I was also working away on this manual system over here. Now that I have 2 markets, I can pull out a bunch of them and get, without doing too much waste on losing out on the demand level, right? Oh, you don't need to be in there. You need to be in there. There we go. And then I've also switched things up here. I took out the gold, and I'm now doing coal over here, and took out the redstone over there and started doing some emeralds, because I know I'm going to need some emeralds to get through Powah, so I just started doing emeralds for now, just so we don't run out unexpectedly, because I never put my not harvesters. Can't think of them off the top of my head. We'll go over in there and take a look at what I did as well. So, quarries, that's what they're called. I had to stop by here first. I guess these ones are done, so I should be moving these. But also down below over here, oh, that doesn't, because of my iron one broke. That's what happened. At any rate, my blaze farm is now here. After water funneling them all to me here, let's do this. have 3 spawners here. And have the normal setup, you know, with water all along the back row coming out to here, and then water on the 2 ends to bring everything towards the middle. And it's just mostly paying attention to the number of hearts so that the water doesn't kill them. So when they get down to about 3 hearts, then I can hit them and not worry about the water getting the last tick of hurt on them, because then you don't get blaze rods back if that happens. So that's how I've been collecting my blaze rods, and it's not too bad. Probably could use, you know, another 2 or 3 if we really wanted to increase it, or change the water to lava, but then we would need a little bit more elaborate system, because lava doesn't flow anywhere near as far as the water in the overworld anyways. I guess we could set it up in the nether and not have to worry about that, but then we'd have to hit the blazes a lot more to kill them. Yeah, that's my setup for blazes for now. Oh yes. And let's take my jetpack off of hover mode, because that's really annoying. So yes, once we had enough elite power bucks to buy up the reactor starters by, you know, looping the power bucks, creating blaze rods for blazing crystals to get the blazing capacitors, so on and so forth. Now we can start upgrading the reactors with the normal recipe. So, oops. We look at the use on these. We now need some uraninite to do those, and those to get up to the basic level. And then from the basic level, we'll need some hardened capacitors, so on and so forth. So we just keep upgrading and upgrading and upgrading to get a better and better reactor. I'll probably go up to at least Niotic, well, at least Spirited is, I think, where we'll stop, because Nitro is a whole other beast unto itself, but Spirited is relatively easy to get to. We just need to, you know, get the emeralds to be able to get there. So that's why I'm duplicating emeralds now. So we'll get up to Spirited on those, and then what we need in conjunction with the ender cells for transmitting or for accepting the energy are these ender gates. So I guess I didn't go over the recipe for the ender cell that I made. I made a Spirited one just because it was easy enough to get to. So 4 obsidian, 4 of these Spirited crystals, which is just emeralds in the oh god, energizing orb. And then the trickier one was the ender core here, but it's really not too tricky at all. You just need an eye of ender, a dielectric casing, and a tiny basic capacitor. So this is just a split basic capacitor in 2. And you put that into the energizing orb, and 50,000 FE later you have an ender core. So we do need to do one of those right now. So and one tiny capacitor. Zap, we get one of those. And don't think I'm doing a... So yeah, the different ender gates just have different input-output amounts, right? So there's pretty much no reason to make the starter ones, because each of these recipes is the same except for the level of energy cable that you use to make them. So probably want to go up to Niotic or even Spirited. Can't hurt at all for having 200 at a time. And then when we get to the late game, we can worry about doing the Nitro tier. So we're going to need 2 Spirited crystals and 6 electric rods and a Spirited capacitor, which is 2 more. So we're going to need 4 Spirited crystals. So 1 emerald and 1 elite power buck, and I'm using the elite power buck to quadruple the output here because it does take 400,000 FE. So it's not that the emeralds are my limiting factor right now, it's how much power I can produce. So I do, these are really easy to make for me right now, and they quadruple the amount we get, so that's why I'm using those. Probably don't need this on me anymore. We're short 2 of those. There's that guy. Oh, I am out of space. I'm out of types everywhere, so I'll have to add in a couple more disk drives off camera, but we can do that easily enough. 12 of those. Now we can get 4 of these ender gates. Now, this is the one thing I'm not 100% on. Is do we have to link these or not? Do I have to put one down on there? Use it. I guess we'll find out. I want to put this down on this cable somewhere just so that this can share the power. So it's obviously not sharing the power right now because those should fill up because we've got 1.5 million in here. Let's put this one that I had linked, which I think I linked. Little guy. Where are your friends? Yeah, these cables should fill up automatically if those were working. Doesn't look like it drained anything. So up is an extract. $800 million in there. Not sure about that. Let's grab some diamonds. So yeah, by the fact that those refill instantly again, I'm pretty sure that's working now. We should see a big, well, I want to do a few more, but we should see a fair size drain That should have drained about 2 million because we did 10. Yeah, so this is right out again. So we did manage to set up the wireless there. So you do need to configure the side, and we'll need one of the ender gates on one side of them. And I guess I could try over here too, right? So it filled back up, so that's working there, so. Excellent. So yeah, those should work at 400,000 at a time, and these can do up to 200, so it can support 2 running at maximum input-output. Not that I think we need 2 at the moment, but that should be fine. I can go put this guy back down over here for now. Doesn't take a lot of power, so I can usually let it run on its buffer for a while, which I was doing to have this guy going over here. I don't need any more of these over here anymore. I guess we could attach everything to here for now until I can't use that because it's not, that will not work like a placement block. All these are feeding this ender cell. And then, yeah, off camera, we'll upgrade our reactor to a higher level. Then the next thing we have to worry about, or next 2 things, I guess, we have to worry about is uraninite. But we went over this a long time ago in one of the first few episodes. But we can take the uraninite that we get from the miners, from the quarries, from the ground, and just put them in there. You get 2 for 1 out of there. So this is a bit of a manual system to do it here. Automating these energizing orbs is a thing unto itself, but I heard a rumbling on the Discord that we might be getting laser IO, which would make automating these really, really simple. So that would be a godsend for sure. I think Direwolf has just had his hands full with his Let's Play and upgrading all his other mods up to 121, and Laser IO just kind of got left behind, maybe. Not 100% sure, because I don't keep tabs on those circles necessarily. Oh yeah, the other thing I was going to say, so not only does uraninite turn into the raw uraninite turn into uraninite, but the raw uranium can as well. So if you're low on the uraninite, then you can take that, put it in there, and you'll get the raw stuff. So you just have to do it 2 times over to get it to this version, which is used in the reactor. I guess we may as well set up the reactor so I can talk about this a little bit more visually. So once you have the 36 in your thing, that will form by itself once you put the first one down. And it's a 3 by 3 by 4 high structure. And it does take the main thing that you need in here is the uraninite, which you put in the center. But you can improve the efficiency of it by adding coal, which goes up here. Usually block form is the best, because you can put 64 blocks in there rather than 64 pieces, right? And redstone goes down here. Then you'll need to put a bucket of water in here that doesn't use up the water, but this keeps it cool, which increases the efficiency as well. And then you can also add something in here to help with the cooling. So you can add in ice. Packed ice is better. Blue ice is even better. And then there's dry ice as well, which you can use as the very, very best. And dry ice is something that's in Powah. You just need to put 2 blue ice together in the energizing orb to get that. So what I did to get, I just made one of them for now because it's 162 pieces of ice just to make one dry ice. And that's a lot of wear and tear on a Silk Touch pickaxe. So the way we'll be getting our ice moving forward is I did make the seed and I put a couple in here. So I now have ice essence coming in passively. I think this one and this one. This one and this one. These two are my 2 ice seeds for now. So just have that working away. And the recipe, or the use, sorry, on that. So 8 ice essence can get us 24 ice, but if we use 9, we can get 20 packed ice. So this is the recipe that we want to do there. So we'll get the packed ice, and then that will make 2 blue ice, which is pretty much, so 9 of these pretty much equates to 1 dry ice. Because we get 20 there, we use 18 to make 2 blue ice, and then we put that in the energizing orb to get the dry ice. So we can get that way, which will help our reactor run at its most efficient. So we can just look at it here. So yeah, it was on this page, wasn't it? So if we do get up to the spirited, then I always get tripped up here. The generation factor, 100k FE per tick. So I don't know if that's the base level, which gets increased by the adding the efficiency with the coal, redstone, and ice, or if that's the maximum. There's also the book, I guess. We can make the book and take a look at it in there and see if that might tell us. So yeah, this will give you the outline around if you want to read up on everything that I touched on there. So coal, redstone, and snow or ice for extra coolness. So the carbon adds heat. Redstone speeds up the fuel consumption and adds heat, and then you put in the coolant over here, which helps reduce the heat down, because the higher the temperature gauge on here, then the less efficient the reactor will run at. So you won't be getting as much. You'll be using more uraninite and getting less power at a time. Yeah, this still has generation factor, which I don't exactly know what that means. It says that dry ice is also can be found in the world. It probably, I wonder if it needs. So no, it doesn't require Silk Touch. So if it did generate in the world, I'm sure I would have found some by now. So I don't think in this pack it is appearing down there. Anyways, that's, I guess, enough of me fumbling around with those. I'm going to break this and I guess we could talk about the inputs and outputs. So, yeah, so these on the four sides on the bottom is where the inputs and outputs go, and then the water. Yes, so the materials input and output on the red, and then the energy inputs and outputs on the bottom one. So eventually we'll take our ender cell and we'll hook it up onto the reactor itself, and then that will not only store up power for us, and the reactor is smart. If you saw in the book there, this turns itself off when it gets up to like 99%, and then turns back on when it gets down to 70%. I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about, but this is where I'll be setting up my reactor over here somewhere, and then we'll just have it run power wirelessly with the ender gates and the ender cell. And I don't know if I'm gonna test this out a little bit more. Actually, probably don't need that anymore. We could probably do a few of these. These will suck the power out quite a bit faster because these take 400,000 for each. So I can do 5 of these, I think. I wanted to break that ender cell to see if the battery popped out. It was the other thing I wanted to check out that I'm not sure at. Yeah, that should be empty over here now. No, the battery doesn't come out there. So I guess if I wanted to add in a better battery to get a bigger buffer, this is dependent on the level, right? Because I've got Spirited, the 400k FE per tick is the maximum input-output of the ender cell, but the buffer size depends on the battery that we put in there. Tried changing all these channels and I don't know, so wonder if it says it in the book. Maybe we'll read up a little bit in there off camera, but for now I'm going to close this one out here. Make sure that this comes back online again. Oh, it's because this doesn't have the output on the top. Extract on the top. There we go. Where is all that power going? Is it going straight over here first? Yeah, see, these are almost full, so that's when these fill up again, maybe we'll see the power come back over here a bit. Testing things as we go. Learning. These should start filling up. Well, this is on again, so That's good news. Are any of these lacking in power? Just wondering why these basic universal cables aren't filling up with power. Oh, it might be taking it out of this Ender Gate as well. It might be working two ways, right? We know it's not coming into the Ender Cell because the top is on an extract only. So I wonder, yeah, that's the only other thing, I guess. Let's look in the book and see what it says about Ender Gates. Says literally not very much. Add capacity to a selected channel by shift-clicking an energy cell or battery. Yes, so I did that. So I guess I could add a bigger battery and it would just increase the buffer. 9E. Not sure what 9EFE for the maximum capacity means. Anyways, yeah, enough of me fumbling around here. We'll cut this one off there. As always, I appreciate you for checking out the episode. And yeah, we will see you in the next one. Bye.